Westfield Memorial Hospital provides high-quality health care to residents of Western New York, offering patients the most sophisticated medical advancements while keeping the ease and familiarity of a community hospital. Support for Chautauqua Sunrise has been provided by WRFA 107.9 FM, Jamestown's public radio station, streaming online 24/7 at WRFALP.com. Low power to the people. Meter's Restaurant, a family tradition for over 50 years in downtown Ripley, is a proud supporter of Chautauqua Sunrise. Meter's provides all-day dining, banquet services, and custom catering, specializing in pie. Funding for Chautauqua Sunrise is provided in part by the Chautauqua County Industrial Development Agency, with offices in Jamestown and Dunkirk, helping businesses to prosper throughout Chautauqua County. From supporting people with disabilities to enjoy great lives to providing health care services that are available to anyone, the Resource Center has been improving our county for more than 60 years. Learn more about how the Resource Center makes a positive difference in people's lives.
Is getting vaccinated on your to-do list? We can help you check it off because we make getting vaccinated easy. You've got this because we've got you. To learn more, visit yougotthis.usaging.org.
From the Access Chautauqua Studios in Mayville, it's Chautauqua Sunrise. Chautauqua Sunrise is hosted by Doc Hamels and supported by the award-winning volunteers at Access Chautauqua. We are here to share local news, colorful interviews, and events of interest to everyone. Chautauqua Sunrise is broadcast live Saturday mornings each week from 9 to 10 a.m. Send events via email or call us live. Check us out on YouTube and Facebook. And now, from the Access Chautauqua Studios, it's Chautauqua Sunrise.
Hey everybody, good morning. I'm Doc Hamels. We're all enjoying the new intro. Holy cow, Brody was looking pretty good in his chair there. I gotta tell you a quick story on Brody. That's where my wife basically sits every night, and he gets in there first, so the two of them have to wrestle to sit together. So Chris, Bert, were you part of this at all? Yeah, and Justin. Oh, okay, when you were watching him, okay. Well, anyways, thanks for that new intro. So you might have seen something a little different. We have a new underwriter. We have the Office for Aging Services, and they're going to be with us till at least the end of April. And we're going to talk a little bit about that in a bit. But before I go any further, I want to thank Fredonia Place. They were with us for almost 9.5 years, and now we have Office for the Aging Services. But thank you, Mike Ferguson, for being a sponsor for this all those years, and we appreciate your support from all that time. So, moving ahead, good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, wherever you are. So I got this all figured out. Those of you that are watching us over in Europe, good afternoon in the Netherlands. Natalia in Kiev, it's the afternoon, it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And if you're in Australia watching this, good tomorrow. It's 1 a.m. in the morning there. And of course, if you're watching us in Chautauqua County, welcome. It's 9 something. I want to remind you also that we are streaming live, and that if you want to call in, we are all over the world. I mean, any place that can pick us up, we are there through the internet. Also, remember that if you are watching this, you got to take off or whatever, or you want to review what my guest has to say, we will be on Facebook forever and ever, hopefully, and also on YouTube forever and ever. And you would just put in the date of the Chautauqua Sunrise, put in the date or the last name of my guest, whatever guest it is, and that'll pop up and you can watch it forever and ever and ever. So anyways, and then for the rest of the week, you can watch us at 2 and 8 on Spectrum 1301. Also, good afternoon to all my listeners on WRFA 107.9, low power to the people. Thanks for joining us Tuesdays at 1 o'clock. Every show here has been great, and it just keeps on going. I mean, I was telling my guests, this is show 489. Holy cow, we're getting old. So we just keep on rolling here, and I want to remind you that during the course of the show, you can call in at 716-753-5225. You can email us during the week, if people do, at chautauquasunrise@gmail.com. Oh, I know what I was going to say. If you missed part of the show today, we also are on at 2 and 4. Did I already say it? 2 and 8. 2 and 8, right? Did I already say that? I don't think I said that. Did I already say that? All right. I don't know. I don't know. It's Saturday morning. Sometimes I just, wow. Well, anyways, so we got some other things coming up. For those of you that have been following the Oak Island Plus series that Jim McQuiston and I have been working on since, it looks like March now, we actually produced our 8th episode just the other day. And it's going to be shown the week of the 16th. So not this week, but the following week, from the 16th through the 22nd at 4 p.m. and 10 p.m. And I got to tell you, this has been an experiment, in my mind anyways, that Jim and I started. And I know this seems hard to believe. Maybe this is the way it's supposed to be. I don't know. But as of this morning, Jim and I have been seen 15,000 times throughout the world. I checked, I think we're up to 23 different states and about 5 different countries. So I was like, how's this possible? Here we are producing this right down the street at Lakeshore Center for the Arts over in the the Innovation Studio. And Randy Burt, he's been our cameraman. Careful, my wire. Is my wire? Where's my wire? Oh, all right. It just blends right in with my sweater. Jackie Phillips has been helping us out at the Innovation Studios there. Anyways, so we're just happy that we can produce something here locally that is going around the world also, besides Chautauqua Sunrise. So how cool is that? All right, moving ahead, next week we got Infinity. The students from there are going to do their Christmas special. And speaking of special, okay, how do I explain this one? I'll try my best. What do you think, Justin? The 23rd, the crew and I will not be here in person. We pre-taped a show last week, and this was a children's story, novel, whatever you want to call it, that we recorded. I narrated it. I wrote it. And it's about an hour and 15 minutes long, so it's about the length of a full-length movie, but it's for kids. And I would encourage you for the kids to watch it if they want to. Again, if they can't finish the whole thing, they can watch it later in the day or later in the week, or watch it on YouTube. But it's targeted for like second, third, fourth, fifth graders, okay? So it should be a lot of fun. It's called The Marvelous Mission, The Adventures of Marcus Finnegan, and I think you'll have fun with that. So that's coming up on the 23rd, pre-taped children's story. All right, I got some announcements to share. Oh, what's with this weather? 58 degrees and it's December 9th. Holy cow. I don't know about you, but it raises heck with my sinuses in my body. It's like, come on. All right, let's get on to the announcements. This is from the Chamber of Commerce for the Chautauqua County. I apologize ahead of time if my voice gets scratchy. I'm doing the best I can today. All right. Shop local. Okay, so what can you do shop local? Well, you can buy gift cards. All right, so the Chautauqua County Chamber of Commerce sells Shop Local, CHQ, gift cards all year round. But there's no doubt that December is their busiest month for these sales. The Shop Local cards can be purchased in any amount from $5 to $500 and can be redeemed at over 170 local participating merchants for everything from dining to gift shopping to services. So think about this. You can get a credit card with a preloaded amount, and you can shop anywhere in Chautauqua County at one of these 170 organizations and businesses. When you give a Shop CHQ card, you can be assured that the recipient will find a local business, or more than one, where they can use the card, whether they choose to have an experience such as visiting a local museum, a winery, or attraction, buying necessities at the grocery or a hardware store, or purchasing a gift for yourself or someone else, a great meal at a local restaurant. This card will be supporting our local economy. And then last year, consumers used over $50,000 in local gift cards. That's pretty good. To make it easier to purchase, you can go to Shop Local CHQ gift cards. The Chamber is staffing its Jamestown office at 300 North Main Street from 8 to 4:30 Monday through Friday, and its Dunkirk office over on Bennett Road at 10785 or 10785 Bennett Road from 8:30 to 4:30, Tuesdays and Thursdays before Christmas. The Chamber will be closed, of course, December 22. They gotta get ready for Christmas too. Processing orders for multiple cards does take a little time, so they encourage you to call in advance. So the number there is 484-1101, 484-1101, extension 201. How cool is all that? All right, this next one I'm not so sure about. So if anybody has more information, call in and let me know. Let me get a little sip here. This is Westfield Cookie Tour, and it's going to be on the 16th.
I've heard of it.
You've heard of it?
Mm-hmm.
Plan to do some shopping and cookie tasting in Westfield. This will be next Saturday, December 16th, from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. 23 businesses and organizations in the Westfield region will be offering one free cookie to each customer, along with a chance to win a $50 Shop Logo CHQ gift card. See how it kind of runs together. Mm-hmm. Stop at any of the participating businesses during those hours, get your cookie. That's 23 cookies. And pick up a punch card. Wow. And then I have to go to the doctor and explain the things. Then have it marked at other participating businesses and drop it into the entry box at Rocketerra in Westfield at the end of the day. There's no purchase necessary, and you do not need to fill the punch card. Participating businesses will be listed on the Chamber's website and the Westfield Facebook page with a convenient Google map. All right, so hang on a minute. I gotta see if these all go together. Sometimes these all kind of blend together. Okay, so coming up today, I got to do a little technology here at the same time. Okay, so hang on. Right next door, as we speak, there's a lot of commotion. And, oh, don't tell me I lost it. I thought I said it to myself. All right, I think I can wing this. There's a Christmas market. There's a Christmas fair going on right next door, like right there. And there's 30 different vendors. They're going to be here from 10 to 4 and 10 to 2 tomorrow, I think, if I remember right. There's going to be horse-drawn carriages in the village park, not down by the lake, but right here in the village, from 5 to 7, but I was told the 5 to 6 o'clock slot was already filled. They're free, and then tomorrow they're going to do the same thing. So stop here and check that out. So let me read a little bit more. It says, join us for our first annual horse-drawn wagon rides with Santa and Mrs. Claus. They're partnering with Flying Feathers and Stomping Hooves stables to bring this fun event. They will leave and return to the parking lot behind the village park with rides lasting 20 to 25 minutes. Then we'll take a new ride every 30 minutes, and each ride can accommodate 10 to 15 people. So if you'd like to schedule your group ahead of time, please let them know. Throughout the ride, they'll enjoy hot cocoa and Christmas music, but sure to dress warm. The event is being provided free to all who attend. Okay, so that's going on as we speak. And right next door, there's lots of vendors. Just come through the family court door here at the former Mayville Central School. And it's right here at 2 Academy Street in Mayville. So that's going on all day today. All right, also, over in the Fenton Museum, there's a holiday open house from 4 to 6. That's over on 67 Washington Street in Jamestown. It's free and open to the public, and refreshments are available. There's going to be some live music, and the big guy will be there as well, Santa Claus. All right, let's go to the reg. We got a slide on this one. Let's see, what do we got here? It says Scrooge. Oh, yeah. Wednesday, December 20th, 7 p.m., and then one at 8:41 p.m. Why it's 8:41? Why did they just make it 8:40. 8:41. Over on 3rd Street in Jamestown. Tickets are $5, $1 added for restoration fees per patron. Online ticket sales and 2 hours before movies and events. Doors open at 6, so Scrooge should be a lot of fun. Then the 35th anniversary screening of this particular movie is described as the following. High-spirited hijinks on Christmas Eve put Frank Cross, played by Bill Murray, in a ghostly time warp in this hilarious takeoff Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol. Cross, who has made the meteor rise from the depths of the mailroom to TV network president, is mean. He's nasty, he's uncaring, he's unforgiving, and has a sadistic sense of humor. Perfect qualities for a modern-day Scrooge. Before the night is over, he'll be visited by a maniacal New York cab driver from the past, a present-day fairy who's into pratfalls, and finally a ghoulish 7-foot headless messenger from the future. It's 101 minutes long, and I told you it's $5 plus $1 for restoration fees. So, a fun Christmas movie. All right, what else we got here? All right, this is from the Department of Health. It's all about scams, all right? So let's see what it says, Jeff. It says Chautauqua County Health Department and Office for Aging Services have teamed up again to get the word to our community on the lookout for health insurance scams during insurance open enrollment time. I think it's done. My phone has stopped ringing. Oh my gosh. I've had calls from all over the United States. And it's, hi, this is Julius. Or, hi, this is Evelyn. Or, hi, this is whatever. I mean, it's like the same thing. Yes. So, but that doesn't mean they're going to stop calling, all right? So open enrollment, you should know, runs through December 15th, and the Medicare open enrollment finished up 2 days ago. Yep, all right. New York State Department of Health reports health insurance scams currently are on the rise. All right. So what do you got to be careful for? And I'm not going to go through all of this, but just think about this. Scammers can be very convincing and creative. Trust me, they almost got me one time. So we want residents to know the warning signs, what to do if a call or contact seems suspicious, states Lacey Wilson, Chautauqua County Health Department's Deputy Public Health Director. Whew, that's a lot of words. Insurance companies should never contact you by phone, email, or text to ask you for personal information like your social security number or bank information. First of all, they should have your social security number already. Bank information is always a no. They don't need your bank information. So let me just summarize this. If they ask for the following, you should be really concerned. Your personal information, such as your social security number, money, if they're asking you for money. Now you might say, well, I'm not going to give them cash, but they might ask you for a credit card number. They might say, well, buy some gift cards and send this to a certain place. Trust me, I know people that got hoodwinked in this because they thought they were sending it to their grandson. They'll leave some cash in an envelope, blah, 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 blah. Prepaid debit cards, cryptocurrency. I don't know if people do that much, but they do these things. Or if they threaten you in any way, shape, or form with legal action, it's a bunch of hooey, all right? But my recommendation is call the Sheriff's Department, call the Federal Trade Commission, call the Office for the Aging Services, just report it, because this way they can collect that information, get after these scammers, because they will take advantage of you. They will drain your credit. They will drain your personal savings accounts. They will do what they can to get you. Now you might say, yeah, but they're doing this all over the place. All they have to do is get 5% of the calls. That's all you need. Just one or two here and there. And lots of times what happens is you're not paying attention. You're busy, you're watching TV. Yeah, well, my number is blah, blah, blah. And the next thing you know, it's too late. One day somebody called me and says, can I have whatever? And I started giving the number out, and then I just stopped. I go, what am I doing? Because I thought it was my bank. They don't do that. All right. So anyways, be very careful. All right, we got a couple other things. We got Ripley is doing a bunch of stuff today. So let's go to 17, Jeff. I know that the library has a vendor fair, just like you have one here. So you go from Mayville and go over to Ripley, over at the library. You've got Meters has got a special breakfast going on. I know they're going to have, I think, a chicken barbecue, if I remember right. There's going to be, oh my gosh, I can hardly read the whole thing here. Let's see. There's going to be a little bit of a service over at the Presbyterian Church. Main Street Pizza's got cookies going on from 12 to 4. Visit for Santa at the fire hall from 1 to 4, and so on. So there you have it. Noah's Ark, which is like a, you can buy clothes there at a real reduced, sort of like Salvation Army kind of a thing, right there in Ripley. So that's all going on today, and encourage you to go see that, my hometown. All right, and then last one, I think, is something that I've been working on with my very good friends. We started this like 7 years ago, 8 years ago. It's called A Wonderful Life. It's a radio show, and it's going to be right at the Lakeshore Center for the Arts, the Jacqueline Phillips Theater. I got to tell you right off the bat, it's limited seating and it's free, okay? It only holds, I think, 37 people per show. So if you're going to go early and get in there. The doors open, I think, about an hour, 45 minutes before the show starts. So today, and only today, it's A Wonderful Life at 2 o'clock and at 7 o'clock, all right? And there you can see some of us from Christmases past. We brought in quite a bit of the crew. I think there's like 5 or 6 of us out of the 9 that are involved. And so we're having lots of fun. The show, we've been rehearsing all week, and it's the Jimmy Stewart themed play that you all see every Christmas Eve, perhaps. And it's a radio show from the 40s. So it's got a 1940s theme, and we are doing voice characterizations like we were in a real live radio station. And you are the audience at the radio station. So it's a lot of fun. So that's today, only today at 2 and 7. And now we're going to take a little breather, and we'll be right back.
So I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Before.
That was comical.
I didn't know where it was going. Well,
Oh, that's funny.
we're going to leave the cat right where he's at. So, and the whole point there is, you know, there's lots of cats and dogs and other animals that are available for adoption, and think about that, okay? Okay. Dana Corwin's back to talk with us today about a really, really cool program. So, Dana, welcome back. And
Thank you.
especially thanks for being an underwriter for our show now. I'm excited. We've never done this before.
Great partnership. I mean, you all are so wonderful to have us on for so many different reasons and opportunities. So when we were able to write for this grant and found that we were, awarded, we wanted to be able to reach as many people, and why not start with you?
Thank you.
Because, this is such a popular show. Just think about all the things that you just went through.
I know.
I mean, it's amazing. I'm always amazed at all of the announcements.
Yeah, and
They're just
today was a
wonderful.
today was a light day.
And today was light.
I always
No, it's
I tell some of my
amazing.
guests there was a time before COVID I had 13 pages one day.
Wow.
Yeah, because
Wow.
things were happening. So it's slowly coming back.
It's a great opportunity for people to listen in, to watch online, to watch on YouTube and Facebook and see what's going on. I didn't know about half those things. Some of them I did. Some of them I
what's
did.
sort of sad is that we don't here in Chautauqua County just have one TV station.
Yeah.
We're kind of splintered. Dunkirk has their own kind of area. Jamestown's their own. But luckily with WRFA, we can get over
Yeah,
there
you've got-
with the going through the live version, the streaming. We can get to people, and of course Facebook and YouTube as well. But it would be nice if we could just have one station somewhere and do programming for everybody. But
I don't know if I ever told you this. When I first moved here, and I was working down in Westfield, I watched the cable access show, and this is 17 years ago.
Yeah.
And I just remember the scrolling. I think it was Channel 5, but I don't recall. It's been too many years.
yeah, it's Channel 5.
That's how I learned about what was going on in this county that I had just moved to.
It's a community calendar.
Yeah, the community calendar. And people said, "What are you watching?" I said, I'm learning. There's something at the library, there's something here. And it's, again, I think I say this every time I come on the show, it's so exciting to hear all the different things that are going on in Chautauqua County. I mean, just the few things that I jotted notes. I knew about the cookie walk because I'm going to go to
I
that.
didn't know that.
And the shop local gift cards are amazing. You know, so there's just so many different things. And of course, thank you for doing the announcement, the PSA for the scams, because as we know, open enrollment has ended for Medicare and is still open for other things. And everybody, not only text, or I get some text, definitely calls, but also in the mail. You know, people get a lot. They bring them in, and you know, we'll start to kind of take a look to see if we can discern what the problem is, and then we'll go, aha, in this very fine print, this is who is actually asking for the information, and you should not be giving that
You know,
information.
my least favorite and the most dangerous one that I've gotten over the years is that I know who you are. I have access
yes.
to your camera.
Oh,
I
I've gotten
watch
that one
you,
too.
and I am going to tell the world what you do.
What you did, yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
what am I doing? It's me and the dog here. We're just sitting here, we're typing away. But they threaten you and they want money and
Yes.
all this, and it's scary the way it's written.
It is. I remember getting the first one, but then I had to giggle a minute later because I said, I don't have a camera. What are you watching?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't have a camera. But
So-
anyways, thank you. And yes,
Absolutely.
we're very excited to be a partner with the show for the next couple months because we were awarded a grant. And that's what I'm here to talk to you about
So
today.
what's the name of the grant?
The grant is called the ADVC. Everything's, you know, initials, right? But it is the Aging and Disability Vaccine Collaboration. And it is a grant from U.S. Aging, which is the national level of area agencies for aging, and the Administration on Community Living, which is the federal government side. So they have recognized that many community partners have done a lot of work in and around vaccine access. So this grant has been rolling for a couple years. We just got into it after we had attended the national conference for U.S. Aging in Utah this year, which was a great conference in Utah. We got a chance to talk with them more in depth, and we decided, yeah, this is something that we really are already doing the work for, so why not see if we can get this grant and continue to help the people in Chautauqua County. You know, when the pandemic hit, and we were talking about this earlier today before the show started, there was a lot of difficulty. You know, as we said, things were getting shut down.
Yeah, it was very
we were talking
confusing.
about not being able to get out of your house. You know, the Office for Aging and Department of Health really, and many other agencies, pulled together to do some fantastic work. And one of the, I guess the thing that sits most with me is when we really worked very hard at the Office for Aging Services to help older adults connect to vaccine opportunities. You know, the Department of Health was doing a yeoman's job all over the county, doing these clinics for COVID, and they were doing that, but we were able to partner with them so that we could actually have the older adult on the phone that couldn't get into the computer or didn't have the experience or the comfort or the confidence to do that. And we were on the other side, okay, we're registering you. And our staff, including Marianne and myself, we did this well into the evenings. You know, we would be
thank you for
scheduling
that.
people
Yeah.
until 7 and 8 p.m. So, you know, now that the pandemic declaration has gone away in the state, you know, regulations have come back, and so we find ourselves still facing some barriers for people. You know, all of the pharmacies, I would say most of the pharmacies, I won't categorize them as everyone, are offering a variety of vaccines. But we still have people that are facing barriers. And that's really what this grant is all about. What are the barriers facing people nowadays in getting a COVID and a flu vaccine, or any vaccine for that matter?
Well,
Because-
I want to take a step back.
Sure.
We don't need vaccines.
Oh, yes, we do.
No, I mean, you talk to people, right? I
know.
believe we do. I've got
I
mine.
know.
But I've talked to a number of people who said, I don't, you know,
I know.
I
And
had COVID. I don't need that vaccine. I'm done.
Yep, and we still have this kind of, I won't, it's just information that is not totally correct. You know, it's like the person that says, I'm not going to get a flu shot because I get sick from the flu shot. So I'm never getting the flu shot again.
Right.
So, you know, right now, I'll couch this by saying we're working with a local pharmacy that is helping us do the vaccinations, okay? And we're bringing the vaccinations right to the door of everybody that we can. So that's our goal in removing some of the barriers.
Who's the pharmacy?
Rite Aid.
Where, here in Mayville?
in Jamestown.
Oh, Jamestown.
So
okay.
we're working with their staff there, and they are assisting us in actually doing the vaccines. During the pandemic, the Department of Health had the major job of getting vaccines out in clinics, and actually the Department of Social Service nurses and myself as a registered nurse worked together with the Department of Health to do the homebound vaccinations. So people that couldn't get out for a variety of reasons, we actually went to their homes and vaccinated people, which I think was a big relief, because that's a huge barrier if you're homebound and you can't get out, and yet this massive illness is happening. People were very, very frightened. So we were able to offer that.
So you're offering that again?
We're working on that. Yes, that's one of the things, because when the pandemic ended all over the United States and in New York State, the regulations that kind of are in place for the Department of Health and pharmacies and other entities can't always provide all of those things. So we're working to put the vaccines right in front of people. We started with kind of the easy parts, like the senior housing, disabled housing, different places where transportation might be a barrier, or language might be a barrier, or access for whatever reason. So we started working with these groups first, kind of what you call the low-hanging fruit, right? They're already there. They're already ready to be vaccinated.
How many people are we talking here, do you think?
Well,
Ballpark.
our goal with the grant is 2,500.
2,500 people?
Yeah, 2,500 vaccines. And I say that because you can get 2 vaccines at the same time.
Yeah, but you
can
get
get
really, really sick.
Flu and COVID.
Yeah, well, I'm not getting that because I don't trust those shots.
But back to your question of we don't need vaccines anymore. We do need vaccines. It's been proven for years and years and years that vaccines eradicate illness. Vaccines diminish the response that our bodies have to illness.
Look at polio.
Exactly. Look at polio.
It's wiped
Look
out.
at measles, mumps, rubella.
I just got in my earpiece. Jeff chimed in. They got mercury in them.
All of the vaccine preparation. I would love to have had the pharmacist here so he could speak the scientific ease to you. But vaccines are safer and safer and safer and safer. But the interesting thing is we did an outreach in Jamestown at the end of November, and people were still demonstrating that they had a lot of misinformation about COVID. So we were talking to people as they were waiting in line for this service, saying, if you had the COVID vaccine so many years ago, it's going to be sticking around. So you need that annual vaccine every year for COVID. You need it every year for flu. You need it every 10 years for your tetanus and diphtheria and pertussis. There's guidelines for that. So
now, let me jump in a little bit.
Sure.
Because I had to get you to hold your breath once in a while.
Hang on, I'll take a drink. You talk.
My understanding is that, and let's talk about the flu. The flu last year is not this year's flu.
Yes.
Last year's COVID is not this year's COVID.
Yes.
Because these things change, they mutate,
they
adapt, and people don't quite understand that. So, I had COVID, I don't, my body's got the immunity. Well, not necessarily, because this is a little different strain.
Yes.
It's like a different flavor. I don't know what else to call it. And you may not be immune to it. You may not get as sick as you had been, but who wants to get sick?
Nobody wants to get sick. And if you think about the people that you know, more than likely you know someone that's recently had COVID or the flu. So that's difficult. And I was talking with a lady that was hesitating on getting a vaccine at the end of November, and she says, why do I need this? She hadn't actually had one yet, so this was like her first one. And I said, a vaccine is something that we can give a person. We inject it. I don't for this reason, the pharmacist did. And it gives your body a little sample, not the live virus, not terrible things, but an attenuated or a dead virus, so that your body can say, okay, what is this thing that I just had injected to me, and what do I do with it? So your body starts to kind of develop the plan the next time they see it, so that if they do get exposed again, instead of having time to build up and maybe getting sick, that body can say, boom, we're going to take care of it right away.
We know what this is.
We know what this is, and we can take care of it. But you're right, the flu changes every year, and scientists and bioscientists, much smarter than I, do that research so that they understand and can predict more than likely what the strains are going to
And
be.
and I think that's the word is predict. And I don't think it's necessarily the flu shot we get here in Chautauqua County is the same one they might get in California.
It absolutely
Right?
is true.
Because it's whatever. You know, on our phones now, I don't know if people see this, but you can go to the little button there. I guess it's on the weather. And it tells you whether the flu is high, low, or whatever.
Exactly.
And right now it's high.
It
It's
is.
been high.
It is.
And I didn't
that's-
realize that.
Yeah, and this is flu season, so you got to think about that. They tell you to get your flu shot starting somewhere September, October, and it should last you through the winter. So when we got the grant, that was really one of my first thoughts is let's get people vaccinated for flu and for COVID. Under the grant, we are working with the pharmacist to offer flu and COVID, but also pneumonia. So we've been able to update people's pneumonia shots.
So let's talk a little bit about the flu, okay? So people say, well, the flu, you know, you have a day or two, and you get sick, and you get over it. Healthy people. People that have immune systems that are being threatened by things like the flu, or the elderly, when they get hit by the flu, it's kind of different.
Could be worse.
In
Yeah.
what way? They get
It could be
dehydrated,
worse.
right?
They get dehydrated, pre-existing conditions that maybe make their immune response not so quick or so robust. So it's really important to talk to your primary care provider, your doctors, or your specialists. I can tell you from my own experience that I have a rheumatologist, and when I guess it was late October, I actually came down with COVID again. I take a medication that depresses my immune system. So I called and I said, okay, this is what's happening. So they gave me direction as to when I should then go ahead and get my flu and COVID shot. So you got to go back to your providers, because who knows you best? Your doctors. They know all the medicines you're taking, they know all your diagnoses, and they're the ones you want to consult with. But the vaccines have been proven to be safe. They definitely diminish the response of the illness so that you hopefully are not as ill.
And I'm going to do a shout out to the baby boomers. Guys and gals, we're over 55.
Yep.
I had this rude awakening one day when I was looking to put my birth date into a computer, and you got to look down. And
Really far down?
Holy cow! Where's my birth year? It's way down there.
I know.
I mean, it's. I don't think of myself in terms of that.
No,
and-
we still feel like we're probably 28,
Yeah,
29,
no,
30, somewhere in there.
I throw this out only because once you get into your later 60s, your early 70s, I mean, we are now, targets for a lot of these illnesses. And you might say, well, I had COVID, it was no big deal. But if you're not building up immunities to all this with vaccines, it's going to take a little piece out of you each time, I think,
Right.
It knocks you down. And I worry about people.
Right.
Okay.
Well, it's something we all have to think about. The recommendation is that every year we get vaccinated for flu. Now that we know we've gone through the pandemic, every year we get vaccinated for COVID. One of the things I learned this year, and I was rather excited about, just because I think it's neat scientifically, there's another option in COVID vaccines. And I was talking to the pharmacist about this. We have the Moderna and we have the Pfizer, and they're formulated a certain way. But this year, and I don't know when exactly it came out, I was hoping he would tell me that, but we'll find out. If you have a question about that and need to know, there's another option that's a protein-based vaccination for COVID called Novavax. And that's actually what I got this year.
How's that work?
It's just instead of the mRNA components that help create the antibodies, this one is done with a protein-based. So much like your flu or anything else. So there's a lot of controversy about the COVID vaccine.
Okay.
There's a lot of thought about that, and I'm certainly not the expert in the preparation and the science behind it. But if you have a question, seek the information and then make that decision based on good information. And that's another component of what we're going to be doing with this grant. We're going to be providing information. There's plenty of fact sheets, from the government, from the administration, from community living, from the Centers for Disease Control, that give all the background, all the information, so that you can make an educated guess. Not an educated guess, that would be me. An educated decision on which to get and why to get it. When I talked to the pharmacist, I said, what do you come up with? When you have a conversation with somebody in the pharmacy, and they're hesitating. How do you manage that? And he gave me his tips. He said he usually asks, who's at home that you protect? Mm-hmm. And it might be children. It could be a spouse that has a pre-existing condition. It might be aging parents.
Right.
It could be a friend that has a chronic disability, that has a reduced response to the immune system. But most of us have a circle of people that we are definitely going to be looking out for. So he says he usually brings that information up. Who are you looking to protect this year? And then he explains how getting that vaccine will reduce the likelihood of that person getting really, really ill and then affecting those people. So, and then you think about, it might interfere if I got really ill with a trip or my holidays or my work or my school. So you have to kind of drill it back down to what is important to that person and why is getting vaccinated important to their life.
Okay. My wife and I have this kind of, I don't want to say it's a game, but it's almost gotten to be a game. We're watching TV, and you, I bet you've done the same. It's like, what is the pill of the week?
That's in
it has a YJ or a K or a Z in it now.
Yeah, can't even say them all.
Can't even say them all. And so with the vaccines, it's almost getting to be the same way. And I got a question already in my earpiece on one, and I'm going to bring up the other. So let's start with RSV. Okay, I've heard it's for respiratory issues and things like this for, young kids and old people.
Old people, yep.
So is this one of those, again, depending on your health and things like that?
Absolutely. Do you have asthma? Do you have lung cancer? Do you have other conditions that affect your breathing? And I'm looking right down here at this vaccine sheet, and it says RSV, respiratory, I'm going to say this wrong, syncytial virus vaccine. And it definitely says, for people over 60, talk to your healthcare provider. Mm-hmm. This is an important thing if you have asthma or some other illness.
So this is an option that you guys are providing?
This is an option. We're not doing RSV.
Okay.
We would refer to the physicians or to the pharmacy for this. In this grant, we are trying to get COVID, flu. We can offer pneumonia shots to people. And like I said, traditionally, people that are in areas where they can't get out or they don't have access. So our plan is really to work through all of the housing and make those opportunities. I think of some of the outliers, towards Sherman or Clymer or Ripley, where maybe they don't have access to, a pharmacist right around the corner, or maybe they don't have transportation to get there. So that's where we're kind of targeting first. That's our first kind of rollout. Let's take the vaccine right to the doorstep and see if people are interested and help them remove that barrier of transportation.
Okay, so let's start day one, minute one. Someone's watching right now and says, I have trouble getting to the pharmacy. I feel strongly I should get vaccinated. What should that person do?
Well, we always have them call. It's the wrong camera angle. New York Connects, which is at 716-753-4582. That is the New York Connects program helpline. It is an aging and disability resource. It gives information and assistance and referral services to people of any age. From birth till we say we don't need it anymore. And they can point people towards different providers. What we're starting to do is set up clinics with the different housing. So for instance, we had 2 people call in independent of each other saying, I'm interested in getting a vaccine. New York Connect sent me their information, their contact information, and I called them Friday night. And I said, okay, I have 6 clinics coming up in December in Jamestown. You are more than welcome. Which one is closer? Which one is easiest for you? If they had told me, hey, I can't get at it all, then we would have put them on a list to deal with that separately. So one of our goals is to be able to get those homebound vaccinations done. And we're still in the process of finding the provider for that and getting that to roll out.
All right, now, hang on, because I really like to get into the weeds now on this whole project.
Okay.
So they call this number, 753-4582. See what I did there? Got
Yes, thank you.
And is there 24/7, certain hours? How's it work?
We do government hours, so we're 8:30 to 4:30, like the rest of Chautauqua County government, but we have an answering, voicemail.
Okay.
And then typically calls are returned within 24 to 48 hours if we're over
Monday
a weekend.
through Friday?
Monday through Friday.
Okay.
And the other good thing to mention is that, we roll with the holiday schedule. So, we are closed certain holidays, but the staff is really good about getting people back, the information, like I suggested in those 2 examples. And I had a great conversation with these 2 people. They were like, oh, thanks for calling us back. And yeah, I think I'll go here because this one makes more sense to me for where I live. I said, I'm not sure what street you're on, but this one sounds like it might be closest. So for December, well, let me back up. We did senior housing in downtown Jamestown in October. And then in November, we did senior housing in the North County and in the South County. We just completed a campaign with the Salvation Army. They were great to work with and had an opportunity where a lot of people came through and we were able to talk to people and give them options, for that. So many people took advantage of that.
So how much does this cost?
It doesn't cost a thing. Your insurance card covers it.
So they have to bring their
They have to
Medicare
bring their
card
insurance
or-
card,
okay.
insurance or Medicare card. We had one young lady, as we get older, people look younger and younger, right? So if you're under 18, you do have we couldn't serve the under 18 group. But if you're over 18, for instance, we're going out to see a facility in next week, I think it is, on the 11th. And we have said to this facility, hey, we're going to provide your COVID vaccines because they said they had a need for this. But please open it up to your staff, open it up to caregivers, to families. So we may have a mix of people coming in because it's convenient. They don't have to go somewhere else. They're already there. So it's really open to anybody.
Okay, so going along with my little process here. So they
Okay.
make the phone call, you say, go to this place, and they show up, they have their card in their hand. Do they have to fill out forms? or-
There's a one-page form that Rite Aid requires, with insurance and their information. I think it takes about 4 minutes to fill out the form, and then the pharmacist will give the injection. They'll wait for about 10 to 15 minutes with us just to make sure there's no problem. And we're doing different things to kind of help people along. One of the things we started in the fall that we're continuing are these winter wellness kits. Let me drop down everything I have in the back here.
Winter wellness kit.
Winter wellness kits. This was not an original idea that I cannot claim. It actually was born out of something my daughter experienced when she was in college. She got sick during the college year and had to go to the medical office. And they did a really cool thing. They gave her a small box of things that would help her feel better while she was getting, convalescing.
She's on her own.
Exactly. So it was a great idea. So I borrowed the idea from them in the Winter Wellness box. Let me turn it around. Are things that we thought, hey, people could really use.
Okay, let's take them out one by one. Let's
See if I can get in there. When they get sick, what are one of the things that you can never find? I'll do trivia. What is the one thing that you can never find when you're feeling ill and you need to check your status?
A doctor. Oh, a thermometer.
A thermometer. Or it never is around, or it's the
Yeah,
battery's
or it's
out.
broken.
Yeah, exactly. So we included a thermometer. And then because we are in COVID season and the flu season, we added a few things. We added some COVID test kits.
Okay.
And one of the things I do want the public and the viewership to understand is that the Office for Aging Services is part of a program where we order these tests in by the hundreds. So if you are in need of COVID test kits, you can call New York Connect's number right there, 716, I can't do it, 753-4582, and you could get COVID test kits.
How much are those?
They're free.
Gee,
They're free.
what a deal.
So we also include some masks because as people are exposed, the recommendation from the CDC is if you're exposed, wear a mask for 10 days.
But they don't work. I hear that all the time.
Yeah.
I've gotten so tired of listening to the naysayers.
I
So it's
know.
like, fine, don't wear it.
You
Don't
know,
get a shot.
These things are a tool that
Yeah.
are available to you. In my situation, I wore one when I had
did,
COVID.
yeah.
So, and I had family members that I didn't want to get ill. So you kind of separate and you kind of say, okay, you're going to clean the environment
All
and
right,
such.
so I can take my temperature. I
did
can
that.
take a test. I can be protected.
We got a magnet.
Magnet for
with
my
New York,
refrigerator.
for New York Connect, so you know who to call whenever you need some help with those kind of
Okay.
things. Chicken soup.
Oh, cool.
Chicken soup. So just some warm and fuzzy things that, if you're not feeling well, you mentioned being dehydrated. What do you need to do when you are dehydrated and you need to get hydrated?
Obviously, you got to drink fluid.
You got to drink water. I left my water bottle on the floor, but we also included some Gatorade.
Oh, those
you know,
little
little
powdered
packets
ones.
that you can add. You know, so sometimes if you're feeling ill, let's say you stuck this up on the, up in the closet, and you're starting to feel bad. You go, oh, I'm really not feeling good. I've got to take my temperature. I got to maybe have some chicken soup in a cup, and I'm going to hydrate and use some Gatorade.
Why Gatorade?
Gatorade had some electrolytes in it, so as you dehydrate, it's good to rehydrate
People
with some
don't realize
electrolytes.
that. The Gatorades are really beneficial.
Yep.
A lot of those guys that ride bikes and
Exactly.
so forth, you go up in the high altitudes, that's a good thing. What else you got in there?
Exactly. We got a
What's
pill
that?
box.
Pill box.
We just thought that would be helpful to have, and everything has to your Connect's name on it. And then we got a pen. Why do we have a pen? Because we put in a blood pressure cuff
Oh.
that you can use on your wrist. So some of the things, if you were to get ill, what's the doctor asking you when you call? What's your temperature? Are you running a fever? You know, what's your blood pressure? So we put in some things that we thought might be helpful. We also had some scarves, but this one didn't have a scarf in there.
All right, so
just
you call the number.
Call the number.
You set up an appointment.
Set up
you
an
go to the
appointment.
appointment. You fill out this little form. You have your Medicare card or insurance card, whatever, and you get your shot. And then, how do they get this?
We give them to them right there.
For how much?
Nothing until we run out of them. We just thought it was a kind of a
You
nice.
got 2,500 of these things?
Well, we don't have 2,500, but we got a lot. So when we work with different populations, sometimes they don't need these things. So what we also had was we got big blankets.
A big blanket.
We got big blankets, and these are like twin-size blankets. So we used these, and we gave people a choice. Hey, what's more important to you? Would this be more helpful to you to be, have a blanket and some of the other items in a bag, or would it be better for you to maybe refresh your blood pressure cuff and get a new one? So we've got options.
The blanket's free.
Blanket's free. This is free.
And your insurance covers the vaccines.
And your insurance covers the vaccines.
All right, I'll get you yet. I got it. All right.
We want to make it easy.
I can't get to the site.
Good question. That's one of the other things that we can do. To date, we haven't had that come up, but we do have the ability to help provide transportation to a site if somebody couldn't get there.
So you don't go there, you bring them to the site. Because there's all the
So
rules and things
our
like-
first efforts are really going to be to take it right as close as we can. But we've already been talking to different community-based organizations and different groups that say transportation may be an issue because we're all spread out.
Yeah.
And so our conversation has been, well, let's pick a date and then we'll see about arranging transportation.
So who picks me up?
Well, we're going to hopefully buy some carts tickets
Aha.
so that people can ride
Because
carts.
we have carts.
We do.
And carts goes throughout the county, I assume.
They go through most of the county. They have different schedules, but we'll kind of deal with each individual situation as it comes.
Okay, I'm in a wheelchair.
Carts has wheelchair.
Oh. A walker.
Carts can deal with walkers.
All right, you win. I'm throwing everything I got at you.
Well, the other thing
There's no reason then not
I
to
want
get a
to
vaccine.
throw this thought out too, because this is bedridden. We're
Oh.
working on that to do homebound vaccinations.
Okay.
So
I thought that one, good one.
yeah, we mentioned that early on that we did that through the pandemic with the
Mm-hmm.
Department of Health and the other nursing through the county, but that is something we're hoping to address too. The other thing I want to tell you about that I think is really exciting, we're partnering with United Way to have people go into communities and give information, all these information on vaccine facts, the information on where the next clinic is going to be, find out if they need additional information, find out if they need help with transportation, deal with any misconceptions in and around the virus. But we're also hoping to partner with churches to go on a weekend when they might be having, mass services or church services, and they would like to do some kind of a community event. We're hoping to partner with them to come and be right on site on a Sunday afternoon to help people.
Libraries are a great location.
Libraries are on our
Awesome.
plan
Awesome.
because what if you work all day and your job doesn't give you the ability to leave to go get a vaccine? And you gotta, when you leave, you gotta do X, Y, and Z. So we're looking to partner with just about anybody out there. So if you're listening and you have a challenge in getting a vaccine, I want you to call us because together we will troubleshoot to see how we can meet that need.
All right, let's take my hometown. We don't have a pharmacy in Ripley. So let's just say, just for fun, would you set up a clinic?
Yes.
And what
What do you have in Ripley that we could use as a natural resource? You have a couple.
library, the school, meeting room.
What about the apartments?
Cows matter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So even Ripley, I mean, I shouldn't say even
Ripley. Of
when
course, Ripley.
You think the outskirts, there's always going to be some place that we
Villanova,
can
Arkwright, Ellington, they're
Exactly.
on the fringe, up in.
Exactly.
Are you in the reservation?
Well, not yet. We haven't had the request yet. And we haven't had the ability to, all of these things. Oh, I hate to use the expression we're building the plane as we're flying it, but we are.
Yeah, I get
We're
it.
reaching out to all these different community-based organizations and now, working with the United Way and their expertise into different organizations and community groups. We're going to be putting out these feelers to say, what is it you need? Where do you need it? And let's set it up.
Now, is this going to be an annual event?
The grant doesn't go on forever and ever. It's only through April of next year. So all of our efforts are going to be in getting as many people as possible, but certainly year to year, this is still going to be a need.
Okay.
So we'll just have to see in the upcoming years how we continue to do this. It's still going to be a need every year to get a flu and more than likely a COVID and a pneumonia shot to keep people healthy during the flu and the winter season of illness. So we're going to be making efforts towards that.
Now, is the pneumonia shot 2 shots or 1 shot?
It depends on the age.
Because I think we got the 2 shots. But so, do you offer the 2 shot?
We have everything.
You got everything. All right.
Except RSV.
All right. What about shingles?
We do actually have the ability to do shingles. So I haven't mentioned it because, as you said, it's flu season
Yeah.
and people are
One thing
starting
at a time here.
to have COVID, impact their lives and the lives of people they love. So we have the ability to do shingles and we have the ability to do pneumonia and flu and COVID.
Okay. So this is a free program. All
This
you got
is
to
a
do is
free
pick up
program.
the phone and talk to somebody.
Right. Let them know your need.
Are there people that don't have an insurance card?
They do.
And how's that work?
Then we have Plan B. So we've utilized the pharmacists and the different programs like the Chautauqua Center. They also have grants and funds to deal with people that are uninsured. The nice thing is if we do come across somebody that doesn't have adequate insurance, New York Connects can help them find opportunities to get insured. So there is insurance opportunities for everybody out there.
So my understanding, if you call this number, it offers you all kinds of services that you don't even know are available.
Exactly. In our survey process to look back at how we've helped people, one of the survey questions is, did you get information on the reason you called, and were you introduced to something you didn't know about? Because more than likely that's the case. You might call because this is what you're thinking about and this is the problem, the big green monster right in front of you. And in talking with the New York Connect staff, they may help you realize that there's some other things that may help. Deal with the problem that presents first, but there's always some other things that may help.
Okay.
So I want to talk to you real quick. I see the time. We have some clinics coming up for the community next week and the following week before Christmas. So we're going to be in Tanglewood on Monday, December 11th. In the morning from like 9 to 11.
Okay.
And then we're heading to the Frewsburg Rest Home, AKA the Magnolia, from 1 to 2 in the afternoon. And if you're out there that way, you can feel free to come on over. You don't have to have an appointment. You can show up. Our pharmacy group is super quick and very proficient and very skilled. Then additionally, the following week on the 18th, I want to see if I can pull up the calendar in my mind. We're working with the Dwyer Group with the veterans at First United Christ in Jamestown at their meeting site. On, I got to back up in my calendar. The 14th, we're doing St. Susan's Center in Jamestown. Again, no appointment necessary. They're having Santa Claus come out and they're giving away things that are important to the clientele that they serve, including a coupon for $20 to the Community Helping Hands program. We're going to be giving this information and they're giving out new gloves to everybody. And then the Mental Health Association on the 19th from 12 to 3 over again in Jamestown. Santa and all those good things again.
Folks, you've been watching Chautauqua Sunrise. My guest has been Dana Corwin from the Office for Aging Services. The number again is 716-753-4582.
There you go.
Please, please, please think about what she had to say today and pass this information on to your friends and relatives and loved ones. This is Chautauqua County working together. It's a great place to live, and obviously there's another service that's available for everybody to be healthy and safe this season. So we're gonna do this all again next Saturday morning. Come back and we'll talk again. Have a nice weekend and enjoy the warm weather. Bye-bye now.
Strange to say.